You certainly can't blame it on your working conditions. They're ideal. But you will do good, Mr. Gage. I know you will. Yes, I wish you every success in the world on your book. I wish you every success in the world, Mr. Gage.
What? What, Frida?
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, Frida, I'm sorry. I didn't know, Frida. I apologize. Frida, you don't have too much to do around here, do you? I mean, we eat the things you like, don't we? If we don't, please speak up. Frida, you know you're more than a maid to us around here. You're one of the family. You're more than one of the family.
Is that so? Well, I never heard you yell at the rest of the family like that.
Well, you just haven't been listening. Look, just as soon as we can, we're going to add a wing onto this house. And, well, you can live right here, right in the bosom of the family. You won't have to ride the bus back and forth to work every day.
I don't mind the bus so much.
Frida, I don't think I've told you this yet, but I'm going to dedicate this new book to you.
You are?
Yes, sir, to Frida, whose sympathy and understanding have made this book possible.
Wow, thanks. Thanks a lot, Mr. Gage. You know, I could be working in town for the Kimberleys for much more money, but I like you folks.
Yes, Frida, there are things in this life more important than money.
You express yourself so beautiful, Mr. Gage. Well, good luck on your book.
Our book, Frida. Thank you.
Don't mention it, Mr. Gage. After all.
Hurry up, Paula. Okay. Daddy, you're working. Have you had your breakfast already?
Hours ago, baby.
Oh, well, good luck on your new story.
Thank you, Sarah.
It's going to make the bestseller list. I just know it is. Good morning, Dad.
Good morning, Paula.
Good luck on your new story.
Thank you, Paula. It's going to make the bestseller list.
It better. Fixing up this old house costs a lot of money. Oh, so sorry to be late, darling. I wanted the room to be perfect for you. Oh. Please admire it, Herbert. I spent days sandpapering this churn.
But it was worth it. You brought out the character in that churn.
Hey, Paula, help me. Oh, yes, ma'am. What if we need a churn for a churn someday?
Don't worry about it. Your mother will sandpaper one out of that old cellar door.
You know, we'll never know how lucky we are to find all these gorgeous old things in this house.
Yeah, the boys at the antique shop sure can turn anything into a lamp.
Can't they, though? Just think. Probably generations and generations of coffee ground in that one. Well, it's perfect now. There isn't a finer room in the state of Connecticut. Oh, it's perfect. Except for maybe that chair. Oh.
Oh, it's fine. Now let it alone.
Now, I like it when it's empty, but the moment someone sits in it, oh, I don't know.
Then put a sign on it, like wet paint. No, we sure picked a fine time to remodel a falling down, broken down, 200-year-old house. With the material shortages, prices are so high. Well, who cares?
Exactly, who cares? You know, from the very first moment I saw this house, I fell in love with it. That sort of thing has only happened to me twice in my life. You didn't look much better than this old house, Herbert. Well, you look fine now. Both of you do.
Thanks.
Oh, Herbert, I almost forgot to tell you. One of your radishes is up this high.
Really?
Yes. Oh, it'll be wonderful. Hundreds and hundreds of jars of peas, beans, tomatoes, and corn, and everything. No more telephoning the grocer every time we need something.
If we had a telephone.
Oh, yes. That reminds me. The Gleasons canceled their order for a telephone. That puts us 49th on the list.
If I don't make some money off this new book, you're going to have to cancel that order.
Yes. You too. Go run. Scat. We finally got out of that New York stuffy apartment, and I'd like to see you two make some good out of it.
Don't be ridiculous, Mother.
Sarah, why can't I have a horse right away?
What's the use of living in the country if you can't have a horse?
Someday we'll have a horse.
A horse would pay for itself in no time.
What?
Sure, Daddy wouldn't have to spend so much money on fertilizer.
Well, Herbert, good luck on your book. Oh, I wanted to tell you, I've had the most disturbing dreams lately about Mr. and Mrs. Rockwood. I dreamed that they weren't dead, that they were coming here to live. But that's impossible. They couldn't be anything else but dead after all these years. Dreams are silly, aren't they, dear? Darling, you aren't hearing a word I say, are you?
Yes, I am. Do anything you want to, Marge. And you're green if you want to.
Good morning, Dad.
Oh, hello there. Where's your man, George?
Oh, he'll be down soon. I heard him in the shower.
How's he sound in the shower? That's important.
Oh, Dad, stop it. Listen, Dad, unless a woman's intuition is off the beam, George has that look in his eye. I think he's going to ask you if he can marry me. Would you help him out?
You bet.
George isn't much of a salesman, Dad, so he'll need a lot of cooperation for you. Or else he'll just end up by asking what time it is. He's very reticent, so if you just... Oh, I'm sorry, Dad, you're trying to work. We'll talk about this. I'm going down the lane for the mail. Good luck, Mr. Genius.
Good morning, Mr. Gage.
Good morning, George.
Mr. Gage, I hate to interrupt, but I'm getting out of college soon.
Fine, everybody should.
I'm heading back to California this evening. You may know.
I don't blame you.
Look, Mr. Gage.
Yes, George?
I love your daughter, and I love your daughter, and...
You love my daughter, and you have every reason in the world to believe that my daughter, loves you.
Well, I don't know.
Confidentially, George. She's definitely that way about you.
Gee, thanks.
Why don't you two get married?
That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh.
Come on, cut it out. I haven't said anything to Barb yet. At least, nothing definitive. I wanted your advice first.
Sit down, George. Oh, not there. That chair looks better empty.
Well, you see, it's like this. I might get out of college in 2 months, or maybe not till the end of term. It's all mixed up with my credits, you see. But whatever it is, the first thing I want to do is marry Barbara. Would that be a mistake?
A mistake for you or a mistake for Barbara?
I have some money saved up, but I don't have a job. I know I can get a job, but I don't want you to think I'm irresponsible or anything. I understand about rent coming due.
Oh, George, don't worry about that. The housing shortages take care of that. We have a house here, and if worst comes to worst, I can always quit writing and I'll go to work.
I wouldn't want you to do that, Mr. Gage. I've got her on my mind all the time.
Why don't you marry the girl, then you can forget about her. She's outside, go ask her.
Well, supposing she says no.
$5 says she doesn't.
Well, she might just say yes because she feels sorry for me.
George, will you get out of here? I got a lot of work to do.
Right, sorry. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Just one more thing.
Yes, George.
What did you say to Mrs. Gage when you asked her?
Will you marry me?
Will you marry me? That sounds good. Will you marry me?
Barbara.
Barbara. Thanks. You're a pal.
Hey, George. Good luck.
Don't start that party out.
Or a bomb.
Fire! Fire! What?
Go.
Go. Fire, Daddy! Fire! Fire!
What a time to have a fire!
There's a fire, Daddy! You're fine.
It's Jackie, Mr. Gage.
I'll get Kate open. Oh, car keys! There are no car keys! My husband's stars!
Go. Where are the car keys? My boots.
Gage.
Thank you, Frida. Now that's everything.
Your boots.
I've got them on.
Oh, Barbara's not where is she? Oh, I'll help get the door open for you.
Can you take it with you this time?
No, you know you can't.
Oh, well, anyway, I'm so proud of you, Daddy. A fireman.
Just a volunteer. 2 more fires and I'll be out of those pumps. Then I'll raid a helmet. Oh, come in, come in. Please come in and make yourselves at home. Sarah, tell your mother, company. Please pardon me, I have to go put out a fire.
Be careful, Daddy. Good morning.
Howdy.
Oh, is that your horse up there? Can you see the wagon?
Yep.
Oh, it's a beautiful horse. Beautiful. What's his name?
Name's Shadrach.
Can I pat him?
Guess so. Don't go calling him beautiful. Got enough trouble with him as it is.
Thank you.
Hold on there, little girl. What's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah Wood.
Sarah Gage. G-A-G-E. Gage. That was the name on the mailbox, Jonathan.
Just making sure. Now, Sarah, you won't forget to tell your mother.
Oh, I'll tell her you're here. Jonathan, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
We're going to let things happen in their own natural way. Don't believe in forcing things. So don't you start fretting, Matilda. We're in. We was invited in. We're home. So just sit down and make yourself comfortable. Mr. Gage just said to.
Fine thing. Being asked to sit down in your own home. Take your head off, Jonathan.
What for?
Because we're going to pray.
Oh,
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us back to our home in Connecticut after being gone these long 6 years. Wyoming, Oregon, Indiana, Montana, Idaho.
he knows where we've been.
I'm being thankful to him, Jonathan.
He knows it.
And we ask that you don't let Matty Boy get in no more trouble so that we don't ever have to leave Connecticut again.
Amen.
But we thank you for the opportunity to travel and see how other folks do farming. For curing me of my homesick spelling and being old. But we thank you for keeping Matt a good boy while we was gone. You think it was wise to let him come on the train from Pittsburgh? Jonathan.
Sorry. I didn't know whether you was talking to me or the Lord.
Talking at you.
Had to let Matt come on ahead. Had to lighten the load on the account of Shadrach.
Well, I rest easier when I know he's safe at on the waters.
Promised, didn't he?
Yeah. We could go down and check and make sure.
No. Shadrach's done in. And besides, we're gonna get around that we're home, and Uncle Walter will bring Matt to us.
I worry about that.
He'll settle down now that we're home.
We was home when we ran away from home.
Stop your fretting. You through praying?
Yes. Amen.
Wouldn't know this place was ours. except for the fireplace. Suffering blazes, would you look at that?
Why, it's your old ox, you old Jonathan.
Hung in the barn for 40 years. I used that thing since I showed those oxen at Danbury Fair. What's it doing there?
Look, my coffee grinder. Cigarettes, Jonathan.
And would you look at that?
Oh, why, it's my spice box. Isn't a lamp in this room that's made out of a lamp?
Don't bother with those curtains, Mrs. Gage. I'll do them.
Oh, Jonathan. Oh, good morning. So nice of you to drop in. I'm Mrs. Gage.
And I'm Jonathan Rockwood.
Please sit down. Rockwood. But you can't be the Rockwoods that live here. No, cause they're dead.
Dead. That's so. You hear that, Matilda? We're dead.
Don't tempt fate, Jonathan.
You know, Mrs. Gage, we used to own this place, and we still got a right to live here. When the power company wanted this property for the water rights, we sold it to them on one condition. No matter whether they rented it, sold it, or gave it away, we still got a right to live here. I left my papers and my satchel outside.
But, Mr. Rockwood, you can't live here. We live here. Oh, but we bought this house.
Tim. Oh, I see your old spinner piano still in the bedroom.
Well, my spin-out piano. Does it still play? No, we can't make it play. Don't you understand? Oh, look. My spool bed. Yes, we found it here and, well,
Hey, Matilda, you better go in and rest yourself.
After I unpack, Jonathan.
oh, Mrs. Rockwood, I wouldn't do anything until I've had a chance to talk with my lawyer.
Ain't nothing your lawyer can do. Matilda and me got the right to live here till we die. And that might be quite a spell. My father reached the age of 97. And that was without even trying.
Oh, dear.
Okay, Josh.
Josh.
Okay, so I want you guys to come out. The stations first, come out, straighten stuff up. Step up and all around, right? And then you wander up behind them and do your lines. You ready? Go ahead. All right.
Since they're not mic. I have no idea.
So, I hope you know how much I think about you and us, but mostly you. And I hope you know how much I really love you, and I know that you think that I know about how much you really love me, and I do. So, I was wondering.
Wow, you don't really talk like that, do you? You do know that everyone wants to be rude and complimented, right? Why don't you try to be more romantic? Sure, here, try it on me.
My dearest, dearest Barbara.
Okay, dial it back a bit.
What a beautiful evening to be spending with such a beautiful lady. And being with this beautiful lady makes me wish this evening would never end. Oh, Barbara, you know how much I really love you and want to spend the rest of my life with you. Well, as long as I live, of course. As you know, heart problems do run in my family, but I take good care of myself with modern medicine.
Stop. Why don't you stick with something simple like, will you marry me, Barbara?
That's what Mr. Gage suggested. Will you marry me, Barbara? Will you marry me, Barbara?
That was so...
Yeah. We did. We couldn't, well, take the music down. Because you can't hear the music at all.
Okay. We'll work on it. All right, Stephanie.
Yes.
Okay. All right, you ready?
I think so.
Okay.
If you finish with your dinner, I'd like to wash the dishes now. Did you get enough to eat?
More than enough.
Well, was it good?
You done your best, no doubt. Don't see any reason to hurt your feelings.
Wow, the nerve! The nerve! Of all the nerve! Mrs. Gage, I want to talk to you.
Oh, not now, Rita. Mr. Loomis, my lawyer, just drove up. He's outside. Hello, Mr. Loomis? Come on in.
Good evening, Mrs. Gage.
Thank heavens you're here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the Rockwood are back.
They arrived this morning.
Well, where's Mr. Gage?
He's putting out a fire. He left before the Rockwoods came. Thank goodness. I don't know how he would have reacted if he was here when the Rockwoods came. Let's just say he'd be terribly upset.
I'm sure. Well, I'm not entirely sure what can be done in this situation, but I will do my best. Let me talk to Rockwood, please.
Me and Frida tried to persuade Mrs. Rockwood to not unpack her things, but we'll help her pack again. Mr. Rockwood! Mr. Rockwood! There's somebody here I'd like you to meet. This is my lawyer.
You're a lawyer, eh?
Yes, Mr. Loomis.
Loomis. You old Mark Loomis's son?
Grandson, actually. You knew my grandfather, did you?
Yep, I did. And old Mark turned over in his grave. He knew any kin of his was a lawyer.
Well, it was my grandfather's money that put me through law school.
You must have stole it from him.
Mr. Rockwood, we are faced here today with a very peculiar situation. When you abandoned this place 6 years ago,
Hey, hold on. We took a little trip, that's all. Stayed way longer than we expected. Why, we even left all our house of goods and furniture right here. And they're still here. Disguised in one way or another.
well, The question of abandonment will be decided by a court.
The courts won't have no trouble deciding that. If we'd abandoned the place, we wouldn't be here now.
Well, Rockwood, I'm not sure you are here in a legal sense.
Size to lower talk.
Mr. Rockwood, my client may be...
Now, I don't know what you're gonna say, but I bet whatever it is, make old Morton turn over in his grave.
My client may be persuaded to pay you a reasonable sum for your claim on this house.
Bribery! Knew it. There goes old Morton.
Bribery? Nothing. This is a legitimate offer.
No, Miss Matilda and me didn't live here. Where would we live? There ain't no place.
I appreciate that fact, Rockwood.
And besides, even if there was an empty house in Connecticut, I wouldn't take it. There ain't no house for me, Matilda, except this one. She was born in it. I married her in it.
All right. That's it. You tried to settle amicably, but you will not cooperate. There's a way to get you out of this house, Rockwood, and I'm going to find it. I'm going to fight you.
I'll be right here. I had to fight with you any day, Loomis. You know, certainly it's surprising how far downhill a family can go in 2 generations.
Mr. Loomis, you can get them out, can't you?
Mrs. Gage, I went to Harvard Law School.
Oh, good. But in the meantime, we have to let them live here? Here?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Oh, dear.
This is a very peculiar situation, but I will certainly do my best. Oh my goodness, I have to go. I don't want to miss Mr. Jameson.
Oh, of course.
Good evening.
Goodbye.
Now you can talk to me, Mrs. Gage.
Oh, Frida. Yes, I suppose so.
Mrs. Gage, I come to you with the understanding I was to work for one family and only one family.
This is just temporary until Mr. Loomis can...
I cooked and give them lunch and dinner, and not so much as one thank you. In fact, that old buzzer slammed the door in my face.
Oh, Frida, please.
Oh, I know this ain't your fault, Mrs. Gage, but after all,
I'll do all that's necessary for Mr. and Mrs. Rockwood. You won't have to lift a finger.
no thanks. I just as soon as have that old buzzer's wife buzzing around the kitchen as I would you.
But I would stay out of your way.
No, and that's final. Besides, you've got enough to do around here. And incidentally,
Yes?
look at that. When was the last time you dusted in here?
Monday. No. It was Saturday.
Or maybe it was Friday. Mrs. Gage, a little less sandpapering and a little more dusting, if you please.
Oh, I'm sorry. You won't have to speak to me about it again. Oh, do you still see smoke from the fire?
Oh, I ain't noticed.
Is Dad back yet? Does he know? No, he doesn't. Oh,
Fire must be out.
yes. I saw the Tuttle boys ride past. I hope nothing's happened to Herbert.
Don't worry, Mrs. Gage.
I just don't know how I'm going to tell him.
Tell me what?
Oh, Herbert! Are you all right?
Of course I'm all right.
Was anything saved?
Well, the cattle, most of the machinery. I saved a cow.
Oh, that's fine.
All by myself I did. Single-handedly. Do you want me to tell you about it?
Oh, yes, of course. But first, there is something I
of
have
course.
to tell you.
Of course, but I understand. If you're more interested in your trivial household affairs
Oh.
than my heroes. But I don't save a cow every afternoon.
Of course not, dear. Come, tell us about it.
Well, I was standing there, and so... Where are the children? Paula, syrup! I want to hear about this. So suddenly, I was standing there, and Paula, I saved a cow.
You did?
Yes, I was standing there, and suddenly I hear this moo. Sarah, I saved a cow.
You didn't tell him yet, did you?
Tell me what? What's happened?
First about the cow, darling.
It was a desperate, frightened, soul-chilling moo. Moo. Moo.
And you knew it was a cow?
Yes, I knew immediately it was a cow. Listen, if you don't want to hear about this...
Oh,
then-
we do. Tell us about it, please. Yes.
Well, I grabbed a wet handkerchief, and I wrapped it around my face. I groped my way through the smoke and the flames. I finally located my cow, and I started out across the bar. You're not listening.
Oh, yes, we are, dear. Here, give me your wet handkerchief. I'll hang it out to dry. Oh, Herbert, there's something I have to tell you first.
You going to tell him now, Mrs. Gage?
Tell me what? What's happened?
Mother wants to be the one to surprise you.
Surprise me?
Oh, dear.
Oh, I see. This is gonna knock me for a loop, huh? Nobody wants to miss seeing me get knocked for a loop. Will somebody please just...
Children, Frida, Barbara, I'd like to be alone with your father. Barbara, you and George go into the kitchen and make your father a sandwich.
I don't want a sandwich.
Go into the kitchen anyway.
But Mother, you may need me.
No. Go into the kitchen. Children, go on up to bed.
Well, Marge? Well, don't leave me dangling like this.
Well, Herbert, they're not dead.
Oh, thank heavens they're not dead. Were they badly injured?
What?
Who's not dead?
Mr. and Mrs. Rockwood.
Mr. and Mrs. Rockwood are not dead.
Not at all. They're here. In there.
Who are Mr. and Mrs. Rockwood?
Oh, Herbert, you know?
I don't.
Yes, you do. I remember explaining the whole thing to you when we lived in our apartment on 56th Street.
Well, I don't remember.
I do. Distinctively. I explained the whole thing to you about the deed and how they had the right to live here as long as they lived.
A right to live here as long as they live?
Yes, they reserved that right when they sold it to the power company.
A right to live here in this house as long as they live.
When I told you about it, you didn't seem to think it mattered.
You didn't tell me about it. This is the first
Oh,
time.
I remember exactly when I told you. You were taking a shower.
Marge! An important thing like that, you wait to tell me when I'm taking a shower.
Oh, but don't you understand? You wouldn't have let me buy the house.
You're absolutely right, I wouldn't have.
And it was the last place in Connecticut, and it was such a good deal. And, well, all the quaint old things that went with it.
Yeah, listen, Marge, you're sure they have the right to live here, as long as they live.
It's in the deed.
Well, how do they look? Healthy?
They're both sound as nuts. And darling, they're gonna live to be 97. And longer if they try.
This is gruesome. What gave you the idea they were dead?
Well, nobody had heard from them in such a long time. And another thing, I felt it in my bones.
Oh, you felt it in your bones. Did your lawyer feel it in his bones too?
Mr. Loomis hasn't been here, but he promised to straighten the whole thing out. So you see, their being here is just for overnight. Darlene will probably forget they're even here. They're probably a nice, quiet, old couple.
Well, I hear one of them plays the piano.
Oh,
Okay, just give us a second, guys. Go back and get that line again, yeah. Where you say, quaint old couple will probably forget they're here.
I'm sure they're a quaint, quiet, old couple. We'll probably forget they're even here.
I hear one of them plays the piano.
Mrs. Rockwood! Mr. Rockwood, I'd like you to meet my husband. This is Mr. Gage.
Met him this morning. Say, what's that spade in section far side of the house?
My vegetable garden.
That's so.
What's he laughing at? What's so funny?
I have no idea. Darling, he said he met you?
Yes, I bumped into him as I was leaving for the fire, but I didn't know who they were. What's he doing in there? Rockwood, I want to talk to you.
Ain't nothing to talk about. What's right's right. Wasting your money hiring a lawyer.
I wouldn't worry about our money if I were you.
Don't know what this country's coming to. More lawyers in it than there are people. Something them Democrats thought of.
What?
Just like they thought of Texas and the high cost of living.
Democrats are not in favor of high cost of living.
They're making it impossible for us to buy something to eat. It's all schemes. Them Democrats trying to starve us Republicans to death.
Prices are just as high for the Democrats as they are for the Republicans.
See, they got you fooled, all right.
Rockwood, I don't want to discuss politics with you. What I want to say was this. I will give you 3 days. No. I'll be reasonable. I'll give you a week to get out of this house.
A week?
Yes, and if you're not out by then, I'll be forced to have to throw you out.
Throw me out! Gangster methods! Gage, you mind if I ask you and your wife a question?
Of course not.
Don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Wouldn't blame you for not admitting it. You Democrats,
We have voted Democrat the last 4 elections.
thought so.
Marge, did you tell them they could use our bedroom?
No, they just barged in.
Well, they've got to get out of there right now. Where are you and I supposed to sleep?
I don't suppose Jonathan and me will be having a baby.
But these might come in handy.
Rockwood.
Say, what do you call the color of the wall in there?
Avalon Buff.
Enough to turn a man's stomach. What'd you do with the old wallpaper that was in there?
Well, we scraped it off. It took us days.
Be obliged if you locate it and put it back on.
Well. Oh. Who is it?
Excuse me, darling. Oh, it's that old man from down the road. Oh, I don't know. Come in, please come in.
How do you do?
I'm 86 years old, maybe 88. I've been here, I've been there, I've been everywhere. Denver, Bridgeport, even New York. Ain't never seen anything like this. Where'd you live?
You're the man they call Uncle Walter, aren't you?
Talking to me?
Why, yes.
I ain't over in New York State.
Oh. Well, I thought you were deaf. Hard of hearing.
Ain't had a death day in my life. What made you think that?
Well, I tried to speak to you on several occasions. You never answered me.
Don't talk to people that move on other people's properties unless I have to. Back now. Understand Jonathan and Matilda are back?
Yes. They arrived this morning.
I'll go tell Matt.
Wait, you'll tell who?
Matt, Jonathan and Matilda's boy.
He's here? Here?
Outside, waiting in my buggy.
Oh, my Matty boy! My Matty boy!
What do you know about that? Until I looked out the window, and there was Matt. Howdy, Uncle Walter. No, he didn't keep his promise.
It's been 2 weeks since I've seen that boy. I think it was 2 years.
Whoa, I didn't know they had a son. Is he planning on staying here? In this house?
Of course.
But he can't.
Matilda and Jonathan need the world and all of that boy.
Well, maybe they do.
Only boy they got.
Well, thank heaven for that.
Here, Matt, you come right on in.
Hey, come in, sonny. Come in and sit down. This is our home as much as yours.
You sit right here, Matty boy.
Yeah. Right there.
Oh, thanks for taking care of John, my Matty boy for us, Uncle Walter. Took such good care of him.
No trouble. Enjoyed it. Ain't had no steady company since my Selma died.
Well, how was your trip on the train, my Matty boy?
Train was awful crowded. Had to let a girl sit on my lap between the PA. Asked to get off at Harrisburg.
Well, we're all home now together as a family.
I ain't never gonna leave again.
You shouldn't have left in the first place. It was just plain dumb. I wasn't chasing after that girl.
Of course you weren't. She was throwing herself at you. That heathen. My Matty boy, I don't know where you get your good looks.
Oh, Ma. I don't know what I got my height.
No. Well, I guess you'll be like the girls the rest of your life. Sometimes I wish you'd been born different.
Well, we all have some cross to bear.
Whatever happened to that Millicent Phillips?
Don't want her name mentioned in this house. It's her that caused all the talk.
No, it was Gracie Castle. And it wasn't really Gracie. But let's not talk about that. That's Mr. Gage, isn't it? And Mrs. Gage?
Yeah, they moved here while we was gone.
Yeah, squatters. Democrat squatters.
Uncle Walter told me.
Well, how you doing, Uncle Walter?
Well, I'll tell you. I don't chop kindling like I used to 20, 30 years ago.
Don't they?
Nope. Chop it faster now. John, I see these folks have done away with your privy.
So I noticed.
Understand you got a new horse, John.
Yeah, oh, Jezebel died in Oregon.
Oregon. Oregon. That's up near Alaska, ain't it?
No, it's closer to Canada.
Canada.
Didn't get into Canada.
Didn't.
Nope.
Didn't make it to Canada.
Didn't. Nope.
Didn't make it to Canada, eh?
Nope.
Oh.
Well, Uncle Walter, why don't you sit down and visit with us a spell?
I think it would be more wise if you did your entertaining someplace else. After all, this is our living room.
As much ours as yours.
Like where?
Sit down, Matilda.
All right, Uncle Walter,
Sit
you
down.
better sit down by the fireplace.
Let him sit where he wants to sit.
Why, he's chewing tobacco, ain't he? You're chewing tobacco, ain't you?
I'm awake, ain't I?
Sit by the fireplace.
This ain't one of my spitting days. It's one of my swallowing days.
Sometimes you forget. You forget.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are my swallowing days. Today is Monday, ain't it?
No, it's Tuesday. You better sit down by the fireplace.
Then you at someone's funeral. You got me all mixed up.
Oh, this is impossible. Now you listen to me. This is our living room, and we are going to use it. Herbert, sit down. Sit down, Herbert. Right on the couch. Sit down. On the couch. So,
Well, you know, there's this, that, and the other thing. How about you, darling? What did you do today?
Oh, I've managed to keep myself busy. Darling, has anything exciting happened to you today?
No.
Well, some people dropped in.
Oh, how lovely. Anybody that we know?
Well, it was a man and his wife and their little boy.
So how are you doing, Uncle Walter?
Well, I'll tell you. I don't chop kindling like I used to 20, 30 years ago.
You told us that already.
Did I? Well,
You're forgetful.
yeah.
I forgot to spit days.
You forget. It's been days.
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
I'm still chewing and swallowing. I ain't spitting yet.
Don't do both at the same time, Uncle Walter.
Well,
We'll take you to the hospital.
Hey, might fall down.
Well, you fall down the stairs and hurt yourself like I did.
Yeah.
hospitals are shice to talk.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Democrat.
Mm-hmm. Democrat.
Yeah, you want to stay longer, Uncle Walter?
I don't know. I've been here a while, man.
I think it's time for him to go.
Alright, now, Democrats.
I can stay here.
Visit with us, because we haven't seen you in a long time, Uncle Walter.
You're right, Matilda.
Is Shadrach thirsty?
Shower.
He shouldn't be.
Wait.
Got plenty to drink.
Could get him something to eat.
Why doesn't Uncle Walter go check?
Oh, that is a splendid idea.
Well, it seems I gotta be taking my leave.
Night, Uncle Walter.
Good night, John.
Uncle Walter.
Not Uncle Walter.
Good night. I'll stop by the Simpsons. Tell them all about your trip.
Oh, Mr. Rockwood, Mrs. Rockwood, Master Rockwood.
Mr. Gage is gonna give a speech.
Hardly a speech. I'm going to be brief and to the point.
Father, I'm sorry to interrupt, but George has to leave now. He's got to catch the 9:30. Who's he?
That's Matt Rockwood, Rockwood's son.
How do you do?
How do you do? Mr. Huffstead, Mr. Rockwood.
How are you?
I'm gonna drive George to the station now, Dad.
Okay, be careful.
Oh, thanks.
I'll get my bag. We'll have to hurry.
Mrs. Gage, they can take me to the bus when I go to the station?
Oh, yes, Frida.
Oh, and I'll need some more money for the marketing tomorrow morning. What? Matt Rockwood, is he going to stay here? Live here?
Well, yes. Why?
I've heard all about him. I know that look. Excuse me.
Frida!
Wow, what's got into her?
I don't know. Never seen her before in my life.
Crazy. The minute I seen her, I knew she was crazy.
She must be crazy. Well, Jonathan, man, I'm hungry for some coffee before I go to bed. This is a fireplace.
What are you doing?
I brought my coffee beans, and I need this grinder to grind my beans.
What are you doing?
Come on, Jonathan, man.
Herbert, do something! She took my lamp!
What can I do? It's her coffee
one big sigh of relief when he went away. Oh, but now he's back.
Come on, Frida, tell us.
I don't know if I can in mixed company. But, well, George, you see, it's like this. If I was you and I had a sister, and my sister was going to a picnic, and Matt Rockwood was going to be at that picnic, I'd pray for rain.
Hey, that guy's a wolf.
Oh, George, don't be silly. I'm leaving. I'll wait for y'all in the car. Frida!
Wait a minute. He's going to be living in this house with Barbara here?
George, don't be silly.
Silly?
George, listen.
We're engaged. We're getting married, remember?
Darling, I can take care of myself. Besides, his mother and father.
And there's his mother and father. Don't worry, she's safe. You, young lady, get on up to bed. Don't worry, George. He'll only be here for a week.
Oh, and I'll keep an eye on him. I'll keep both eyes on him for you, George.
I'd appreciate it if you would, Mr. Gage.
Darling, everything will be all right. You'll miss your train. Come on, hurry.
Well, so long, everybody. I had a swell time. Mr.
Come on,
Gage,
George.
I'm depending on you.
I won't fail you, George.
So long!
Tilda wants her spice box. For spices.
Let's not discuss it now, shall we?
But where will you and I sleep tonight?
Well, Sarah and Paula can share a room.
And I'll...
And, well, I'll move in with Barbara and
And I'll...
you can sleep here, darling.
Roomy, ain't it?
Good night, Pa.
Sorry, guys. I was watching. Not listening.
is ready.
TJ,
Too soon?
this is intermission, so you guys can have a lot more time. And by the time for the next 15 minutes, but for right now, wait for Madeline, she's still changing.
Okay.
Is the chair good now?
What?
Is the chair good?
Is the what?
The chair.
Yeah, sorry, my headset is buzzing.
I didn't pop that.
Do any of these things
But I
need to
couldn't
leave?
hear because something was buzzing in my headset. So my ear was burning. Yes, you're good. Jonathan, door's open.
Does this need to leave, the cradle?
Yeah, it does. Take it off. TJ, while we're paused waiting for her to change, you're opening the bedroom door too much.
Too much?
Yeah, keep it as close to the wall as you can, okay?
Okay, it is hard with the chair.
I know it is, but just do your best. We're also going to move the dining room table over a little bit,
Oh, that'll make it nicer.
so we'll work on that. Tell me. Okay, don't break the wall, so. Tell me when Madeline's ready.
Good morning, Uncle Jonathan.
Morning, Sarah.
Have you found more Shadrach yet?
Waiting for you.
Oh, thanks.
Hold on there, Sarah. I don't want you to go getting on Shadrach unless I'm with the two of you.
Aw.
Shadrach's getting mighty skitterish. Now, you mind what I say? I don't want your father suing me.
Oh, I promise.
Yeah.
So you've got Calvin Coolidge up already.
I do.
Is he your hero, Uncle Jonathan?
Never had a hero, but he was the best president we ever elected. Kept his mouth shut and minding his own business.
Aren't mother and father stubborn, though?
They're pretty stubborn, all right. I ain't no more stubborn than I am.
Ooh.
Fine morning.
Oh, yes.
You know, September's the best month God give us.
Did you have a pleasant night, dear?
Huh?
Did you have a pleasant night?
Of course not.
Oh, darling, don't start the day.
That
but-
son of theirs upstairs in a nice warm bed. A room of his own and me. I have to.
You don't have to. Matt is perfectly willing to sleep down here.
Well, he'd have to be in bed by 9 o'clock. Lights have to be out.
Yes, well, Barbara could sleep down here. That would make a place in Paula's room. And then Sarah can move in with her, and you can move in with me where you belong.
How's that?
Let's see. How did I say that? Barbara can move down here, and
You
then...
can stop right there. Barbara stays in a room with a door on it, as long as that Matt's around.
Oh, Matt's all right.
Well, I don't trust him.
You know, either Matt's reputation was greatly exaggerated, or he has really turned over a new leaf. Why, he doesn't even go out on Saturday nights anymore. I think he's really settled down.
Settle down is right. Right here in this chair. For weeks, for months, he's just been sitting here watching me. Watching me. Could you write with somebody watching you? Just watching you.
Why, in heaven's name, don't you ask him to sit someplace else?
Because I'm not speaking to him.
Oh, Herbert, you can't go on like this, hating them every second, not speaking to them. No wonder you can't write.
Let's not discuss it, shall we?
Oh, I know it's unpleasant having them here. I don't like it either, but we've spent thousands believe it, even if we wanted to.
Yeah. What's holding Loomis up? Is he too busy to work on our case?
Oh, Herbert, he's working on it. Constantly. But he says we mustn't expect a miracle. Darling, we are intelligent, tolerant people. If we can't get along with the Rockwoods, how on earth are we going to get along with the Russians?
What?
Oh, darling, you know.
Starving.
Oh, yes. Would it be okay if Barbara drove me to town just to buy some things for lunch?
Look, why don't you and Barbara do a whole week's marketing at once?
I try to.
Well, there's never anything to eat in this house.
Well, that is not fair.
My mother always had something to eat in the house.
Well, your mother had a telephone and an AMP right around the corner. And she only had one child, and that is why he is so spoiled.
I'm sorry. Well, can you try to buy by the case?
You can't buy a case nowadays. But I'll try. I promise I will. Daddy, Mother, come see Uncle Jonathan's beautiful.
Would you stop calling that man Uncle Jonathan?
Father, will you please refrain from yelling? Aunt Matilda says that yelling shows people's ignorance.
Aunt Matilda, you stay away from that.
But Daddy!
You hear me? I have to put you over my knee.
Oh, Herbert, don't. Come see Uncle Jonathan's beautiful what? What has he, Sarah?
A cow! A man's just brought it for him. He kept it for Uncle Mr. Rockwood while he was out west. He would have brought it sooner, but it hasn't been at all well. Do you want to see it?
Where's this beautiful, sick cow, Mr. Rockwood?
He's milking it. Can you milk, Daddy?
Of course.
Bet you can't.
It's easy. Simply sit next to the cow, down at the tail end, and, well, you reach up under there, and there are these 4 little faucets. You squeeze them, milk. It's harder to get cream. Rockwood's no genius.
Oh, yes, he is. Uncle Jonathan can do anything.
Marge, must they have a cow? They have their son, a horse, chickens, now a cow. Soon we'll have pigs running around the house.
Oh, haven't you seen his pigs?
There, what did I tell you?
I know.
And since, no, have you seen their house? Not their house, their room lately. That wood sink and that ancient cook stove.
Well, I know. I've seen it.
And since daybreak, he's been clumping in and out of here with bushels of potatoes. In and out, up and down, down and up.
Well, we had to let them grow their own food. We couldn't let them starve.
But did he have to plant his garden right in the middle of my $200 lawn?
Well, that is where you should have planted yours.
What?
Oh, nothing grew in your garden.
My cucumbers were terrific.
Of course. And I'm very proud of my 6 pints of sweet and sour chow chow.
Well, 3 pints. 2 pints blew up.
Did she give a lot of milk, Uncle Jonathan?
Yeah, she done pretty good. Matilda will be tickled. Won't have enough milk to churn for a day or 2, but it'll take at least that long to get this thing back in shape.
Rockwood, I want to talk to you.
Guess I could spare a minute.
I understand you have a cow.
That's right. Always had a cow. Always will have.
Well, you can't keep it here. That's final.
But I darn near didn't have a cow. Almost burned to death. Some feller pulled out of Lambert's barn just in time. Got to tend to my milk. Matilda ain't up to it.
Is she sick, Uncle Jonathan?
It's her hip, Sarah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She fell down them stairs there.
She did? Really?
Yep. She fell down them stairs.
Really?
Yep, that red carpet, it's treacherous. Hits my heel every time.
Oh, may I watch you?
Yeah, come on.
Marge, did you hear that? About his wife falling on those stairs?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Well, don't you see? He's gonna sue us!
Do you think so?
Oh, I know his Yankee mind. See how casually he informed us about that hit. How easily. Then bang, a lawsuit!
Oh, that would be dreadful.
This is the one time they won't get the best of us. What time is it?
It's almost 8.
Oh, good. You have time to catch Loomis before he reaches the office. Marge, you go get the car and do that while I get changed.
Yes, of course. As long as you fix up your bed so when Mr. Loomis comes.
Sure.
Good morning, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Morning.
Here, let me do that.
Thank you. Get this thing out of sight before Matt sees it.
Where's Sarah?
Oh, she's in there with the Rockwoods. She's always in there. Almost a lot of respect for Sarah. Selling her soul for a ride on a horse, Paula. Oh, there's the milk, Paula. Go get it. Oh, fine. Hugh, I thought you'd be on your way to town to start your new job.
I decided not to take that job.
Oh no, why? Well, you gotta do something. If you don't, Father will.
That job on the counter?
Wasn't it enough money?
Yeah, I see your bag, and I'm not even sitting over there. Thank you.
That job behind the counter?
Oh, wasn't it enough money?
Ain't the money. The principle of the thing. I'll be on my feet. All day.
Matt,
Matt.
what kind of
Bird. Thank you.
Matt, what kind of job do you want?
Oh, I in particular. Anything just so as it keeps me busy.
What about the job in Danbury?
Couldn't get that job. They wanted my social security card, and I ain't got none.
Well, didn't you ever have one?
Nope. Social security ain't good for a man. Ruins his initiative. Besides, I don't think I could get one. Us Rockwoods, we don't look for no favors from Washington.
Matt, now you listen to me. Father's nearly a nervous wreck, and one of the reasons is you. Things aren't hectic enough around here without you sitting around in that chair all day. You've got to get a job, and you've got to find something that... Oh, Paula, any mail for me?
Nope, I'm sorry. Not even from George.
Oh, I haven't had a letter now for 2 days.
Oh, that reminds me. You left your engagement ring up and back.
Oh, thanks. Certainly is nerve-wracking for a girl not knowing if she's getting married next week or next month, not till the end of term.
I was afraid someone might steal it.
Oh, Matt, who would steal it?
As many people as there are in this house, there might be one dishonest one among them.
Matt, if only you fell in love and got married. That's what you need. Someone to work for.
I don't know. I just love to see the look on your father's face if I brought home a wife.
But you wouldn't. That's the point. You'd get a job and buy a home of your own.
Barbara, who are you talking to?
Oh. Matt, Father.
Thought so.
Oh, Father, you're being silly about Matt. He's not...
Why are you always talking to him? What's so fascinating about him?
Oh, I think he's kind of cute.
You and your mother. She doesn't see anything wrong with him either.
Because there isn't anything wrong with him. Except he hasn't any ambition.
Oh, yes, he has. I've heard all about his ambitions. You stay away from him.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Barbara, has he ever Well, has he?
No, I guess I'm not his type. Listen, please don't be silly about that. He lives here and he's someone to talk to and that's all. Quiet backstage.
Oh, good. Here's your mother with Loomis.
Loomis?
Oh, business, just business. Baby, we would do something about breakfast.
Oh, certainly.
Ah, good morning, Loomis.
Good evening, Gage.
Here, come on in. Mark, make sure you take his coat. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Now, here's the situation.
No need. Mrs. Gage has already explained the situation to me. No use going over it again. Now, where's Rockwood?
No, he's in there. Now, what's the procedure in a case like this?
Gage, I will handle this if you'll call Rockwood.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Yeah? You wanna see me? I see you got your lawyer.
Good evening, Rockwood. Well, I'm here because I understand that your wife fell down those stairs and hurt her hip.
Yep, she did. Caught her heel on the top step, and down she come. All the way to the bottom.
You've had a doctor, of course.
Don't hold with doctors.
Well, under these peculiar circumstances, wouldn't you feel easier if you had your wife examined by a first-class physician?
Don't hold with physicians either.
Not even if Mr. Gage is willing to pay the bill.
Nope. Wouldn't be part of anybody paying good money to a doctor or a physician.
Well, I think the Gages may be willing to do something for you.
They want to do something?
Yes, they may.
Well now, we can start by getting rid of that pink tarnation carpet on them stairs.
Excuse me? That is not a pink tarnation carpet. It is a beautiful broadloom claret, and
Better
I
get
won't
it-
have you.
You better get it off there before somebody else falls down them steps.
That is ridiculous. It is perfectly safe.
Catches my heel every time.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Now, Marge, don't be unreasonable.
Yes, Mrs. Gage. Under the circumstances, you will be able to remove it, won't you?
Of course she will.
Thank you.
I'd be obliged to you, Mrs. Gage. Then there's that infernal contraption over here. Ugh,
My radio!
I ain't heard nothing come out of it worth listening to.
Why, the nerve of it! With that awful piano!
Gage, now Gage.
What's the news? How do I ever know what's going on?
Uncle Walter will tell you.
What?
When anything important happens, Uncle Walter always hears about it. He comes and tells me, and I will tell you.
No. That piano, whatever it is, radio, will stay.
Disturbs Matilda. She can't get her proper rest.
Mr. Rockwood, I'm sure under the circumstances that Herbert would be willing to give it up. Won't you, Herbert?
Yes, under the circumstances.
Then there's something else.
What might that be? Excuse me.
My privet.
No, I draw the line there.
Yes, aren't you being unreasonable? With modern improvements to this house, there's no further use for your for outside plumbing.
Oh, hold on. Who's to say there's no use for outside plumbing?
Well, is there?
You better believe there is. I don't hold with inside plumbing.
Well, what have you been doing?
You've been using our bathroom for 3 months. What do you mean?
Yes, I have. But I ain't been happy up there.
Well, where do you propose to build it?
Right where the old one was.
That's the front of the house now.
Well, maybe I'd better let that doctor get a good look at Matilda.
No, all right. All right.
Is that the extent of your demands?
I said for what we said, if that's what you mean.
Okay, I'll get this all down in writing.
No. Time enough to sign papers when you do all the things you promised.
Simmons out front with the folding chairs.
That's so. Have them handed off the wagon to you.
All right.
Folding chairs? What are they for?
Funeral.
Funeral. Did somebody die?
Young Charlie Freeman. Only 75 years old.
No, that's too bad. Give my condolences to Charlie's wife.
Young Charlie never married. They're thinking of old Charlie. Quite shocked, old Charlie, losing his boy like that.
Well, you... Lewis! Does he have the right to hold a funeral here? In our living room?
Frankly, Gage, this is a case without precedent. I don't know. Good evening, I must get to the office.
Rockwood, do you have to have this funeral here?
Yeah, plenty of room. Expecting quite a crowd.
Well, why don't you have it at the church?
Old Charlie quit the church when Reverend Smalley put electricity in it. He said if God wanted electricity in his churches, he would have invented it himself.
But there's electricity here.
This ain't a house of the Lord. Far from it.
Oh, Herbert! What are we gonna do?
Well, we can have breakfast. Can't face a funeral on an empty stomach.
Oh, we could go out for the day.
No, they might decide to bury young Charlie here.
No, Sarah, you haven't practiced the piano yet today.
Oh, I'll do it, Aunt Matilda, as soon as I've done my chores. I haven't finished Shadrach yet.
So nice having you play the piano since I ain't playing no more.
I enjoy it, Aunt Matilda.
Oh, Matilda. You feeling some better?
Some can't miss the services.
John, I got some news for you.
Yeah, what is it?
I told everybody about the funeral. They all said they'd come.
Are you sure you told everyone, Uncle Walter?
Yep, told everybody. Class, I forgot to tell them who it was. Bet a lot of folks would be surprised.
I've got some good news for you, Matilda.
Seemed to me you were mighty chipper.
Mr. Gage made a little deal with me.
What sort of a deal?
There's gonna be some changes around here.
Such as?
I'm gonna get rid of this infernal contraption, a radio, that interferes with your rest.
Well, I don't mind it much, except for them talking pots.
Yeah, and they're gonna get rid of that tarnation pink carpet.
Oh, what? Kind of nice on the feet when you walk up them stairs.
Well, we no need for going up them stairs. Even their lawyer, see, we got ourselves a bill of, right, even their lawyer, sees we got ourselves the right to build a privy.
Oh, that's all.
I thought you'd be pleased. I suspected it all along.
Well,
You like their indoor plumbing.
times are changing, Jonathan. We gotta change with them.
Never thought I'd see the day.
I was thinking, it takes a funeral to get old friends together. It's been 20 years since we seen Charlie.
22 years.
20 years, Jonathan. He was here the day I fell down them stairs and broke my hip. 20 years ago.
Okay, are we gonna sit? Yes. Okay, then, hey guys, no, stop. I want the running hands, like some of the running hands that aren't doing badly, to do the chairs. Who's,
That mean I is here.
yeah, you can. I mean, pass over to running through that isn't doing this bit.
All right.
Okay, so Andrew, what do you do?
Okay.
Now we're gonna
Yep,
Okay. That.
that's perfect. In tonight's performance, the role of Elrond will be played by me. I don't know about you, but I feel really bad for Mr. Gage and all the trouble he's having writing the story. Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't we all work together to help give him a good idea for an inspiration? I know it. I'll write a mystery story and you guys can help fill in the blanks. Let's see. I need the name. I need a good name. You, sitting in the back. Give me someone sitting around you.
Oh, what about Tiana?
Tiana. What's Tiana's last name?
Fowler.
Tiana Fowler. That's a good name. All right, Maeve. Maeve, where is Maeve? Maeve, can you help find someone to help me come up with an animal? Give me any name of an animal. How about that cutie right there in the middle right there? She can give me a name of an animal.
A hippopotamus.
A hippopotamus. That's the animal you chose, really? A hippo? Okay, seriously? All right. Now I need an exclamation, something that they'll shout. Is Terry Fowler still here? Terry, give me an exclamation.
Goodness.
That's not very loud or exclamatory. Give me a good one.
Wow.
Wow, that's great. That was really good from an English teacher. All right, now I'm looking for a weapon. Anybody? You, the director, up in the box. Give me a weapon.
A lead pipe.
A lead pipe. Someone's been watching too much Clue. All right, and Maeve, I need someone to give me a question. A question, any question. You can speak louder.
Why are you wearing that?
Why am I wearing that? Because I look very nice. But can you give me a question, please?
That was the question.
Oh, that was the question. Why are you wearing that? And last, I need a household object. Only because I can see you right there in the middle.
Table.
A what?
Kitchen table.
A kitchen table. All right, so here's our story. It was a dark and stormy night. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door, and Bob opened it to see the ugly and scary Tiana. She had a face that could scare a hippo. Bob didn't know what to do, and in a panic, he screamed, "Wow!" And as Tiana chased after Bob, she pulled out a lead pipe from under her coat. Bob grabbed the phone, dialed the police, and asked the operator, "Why are you wearing that?" Lightning flashed, thunder boomed, and Bob grabbed a kitchen table to protect himself. And suddenly, with no warning, I'm sorry, we're out of time. I'm going to have to finish this later, but thanks for your help, and thanks, Tiana, for being so scary tonight.
That old boy. Do you mind if I ask you a question? For weeks, for months, all summer, all fall, November, December, and half of January, you've been sitting in that chair just watching me. Madam Boy, what do you find so fascinating about me?
Fascinating.
Yes, do I remind you of someone you're trying to think of who, or the typewriter? Do you like the click, click, click of the busy little keys?
I don't enjoy that especially, no.
Stand up.
What?
Stand up. Sit down.
You should have done that last summer.
Oh, darling, it is freezing in this house. It's dropped 10 degrees since lunch.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it.
Can't we have a little more heat? Oh, darling,
Marge, please refrain from touching all the radiators.
it's only because I'm doing that they stay as warm as they are. Darling, we've simply got to have more heat. We're not living in an apartment on 56th Street anymore. You can't just pound on the radiator and presto, the superintendent turns up the heat. Herbert, you're our super.
Kindly do not refer to me as the super.
Well, you are. And it's up to you to keep us from freezing to death. Heavens, the way you used to yell at the superintendent on 56th Street.
I never yelled at him.
Oh, please. You would yell him back. Heavens and back.
I didn't. He had a very difficult job, and, well, I sympathize with that. He was right about a lot of things, and too much heat is unhealthy. 60, 61 degrees is a sensible temperature.
Matt, who is that?
Oh, somebody for me, Mrs. Gage.
Well, put on a coat, or you'll catch cold too.
I ain't so bad out.
Darling, where did you put the groceries? Did you put them in the kitchen or did you leave them in the car?
What groceries?
But darling, I wrote them down and I handed you the list. Don't you remember?
I didn't take any list.
What is this?
I've been framed!
Oh, never mind. I don't want any dinner. How about you just take the children into the restaurant to eat?
If you don't mind being left alone.
Not at all, as long as you make a fire in the fireplace before you leave.
I'll do that right away.
Oh, make sure you bundle up.
I'll get Paula to help me.
Evening, Mr. Gage. I sure wouldn't go out on a night like tonight. It's more than thinking out here.
Mrs. Rockwood, I wouldn't go out there if I were you. It's pretty nasty out.
I'm not going out.
Mrs. Gage? Mrs. Gage?
Oh, Mother's taking some aspirin and going to bed, Dad.
Oh, she is?
Oh, maybe something I can do?
I don't think so.
Well, what is it?
Your mother's sick, huh?
She feels dreadful. Can't you tell me, Matt?
It's Mrs. Gorland. Her time's come sooner than expected.
Oh, do you mean she's gonna have her baby?
Yeah, and she's all alone, except for her 5 little ones. The biggest one was just here. He was crying. He's only 8.
Oh, where's her husband?
He's out to town. He ain't back yet.
Oh, Matt, you've gotta get a doctor.
Cam, little Melvin Gorland took a note from his mom to Mrs. Tuttle, but the Tuttles weren't home. He got in them. He used her phone. Old Doc Lippett's on a case, and he's the only doctor this side of Danbury.
Oh, Matt, we've gotta do something.
My ma ain't smart enough to get through them woods no more to the gullies. So I thought maybe your mother, but you say she's sick.
Oh, she feels terrible, and within her cold it'd be pneumonia for her. Oh, if only Mrs. Tuttle were home. Matt,
What?
thought of somebody.
Who?
Me.
You ever done it?
Well, no, but I've taken a Red Cross course, and maybe Mrs. Gurley might be able to help a little. Well, I know something. I've been reading Life magazine since I was 10 years old.
I think maybe you better ask your mother to see if she'll let you.
Oh, she wouldn't, so we mustn't ask her. Matt, isn't there a quicker way than back to the woods?
Not walking, of course. But if we had a car,
We do. Matt, you go back out of the garage and wait for me in it. Oh, my goodness.
if you're afraid.
Oh, I'm not afraid. I hope it's a boy. Oh, I'll go pack a first aid kit, some towels, hot water, some sheets.
Maybe we better leave a note.
Jonathan!
Yeah?
Jonathan!
I'm coming.
Jonathan! When you get a minute, can you take them empty jars down to the cellar for me?
Yeah.
It's getting mighty warm in our room. I had that door open to air it out.
I ain't hot out here.
Oh,
It's cold.
ain't.
It's mighty cold.
Uncle Walter was telling me how they've been having an oil famine about the last 5-6 years. How they measure the oil. It's not as full as it should be.
Ain't that oil? Them Democrats down in Washington gonna punish New England for voting Republican.
Doesn't seem mighty Christian of me, Jonathan. Seems to me you might offer to help Gage a little.
If Gage weren't so stubborn, weren't so darn bullheaded to ask my advice, I could help him a lot, save him a lot of trouble.
Hell, bet you could.
I know I could.
You know where Matt is?
He's around someplace. Saw him about an hour ago.
How's the weather?
Peculiar. Something's coming. I don't know what, but something. Never seen a more ordinary sky. And it's cold. Mighty cold.
Oh.
Now, Paula, you get the, let's see, paper and the matches.
Oh, all right. What's eating you, Sarah? Nothing.
Hurry up, Paula.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, let me do it, Pop, please, huh?
Oh, not this time. This time you just watch, just in case you have to do it when I'm not around.
Building a fire?
Yes, I'm building a fire.
Ever build a fire before?
Plenty of times.
Any fire you ever build ever burn?
This one will.
Is that wood you got there?
And this is the kind of wood you should use.
Won't burn.
And will if you know how to use it.
Gotta cut your wood in the summer so it'll dry out. You know, green wood won't burn. Next spring,
I wouldn't be making any plans about next spring if I were you. Chances are you won't be around.
That's so. Say, I haven't seen your lawyer around lately. He go and get himself put in jail and arrested.
Rockwood, I don't know why you're so stubborn about this. I should think that you and your wife would be more comfortable in a little place of your own, where you wouldn't be bothered by us.
Matilda and me, oh,
You what? Well, what's so funny?
I thought you used all your arguments up. Didn't think you'd come up with any more.
Well, it's true.
It is it?
I don't think you like young people, especially noisy kids.
Me and Matilda like the young folks. Keeps us young.
Well, you don't like me. Think of how wonderful it'll be to not to see my face every day.
To tell you the truth, Gage, I ain't especially fond of you. You've got some mighty queer and aggravating traits. But I figure you're young yet. You might even be a decent human being. 10, 15 years from now.
Rockwood, can you get through that thick head of yours that...
On second thought, make that 20, 25 years.
Hey, I'm here. Lo, the bridegroom cometh.
George!
Goodness, it's George!
Say, you seem surprised to see me.
Well, we are.
I sent Barbara a telegram. I'm